Now, we're going to hear from the system coordinators, and I believe Diane Satchwell is going to lead off, and we're going to hear their perspective of what's been going on and what they're up to right now.
It's my pleasure to work with these incredible people. There are 9 systems in California, and this last year, we've all worked really hard to work together. Maureen, Jacquie, Kelly, and Carol, to come up with these different projects. And we put together, we helped work with the proposals for the CLSA board meeting, and it's been really a lot of fun for us. And out of that working together, Maureen from Black Gold has created what is on your table for the CLSA Inform. So she's going to do a little presentation, and then each of us will talk about our systems. So Maureen.
Okay, I'm here to talk about a new project that's being coordinated by all these systems in the state of California, and it is called the CLSA Infoorg Database. And oftentimes you'll see a request on Khalifa or another listserv for, I'm looking for a policy on unattended children in the library, or I'd like to hold a strategic planning session and I'm looking for an RFP to find someone that can help me with that. There's no good repository for those types of documents, and that's what we're working together with the libraries in California to put together. And we're really excited about it because several systems had indicated to their system directors and within their boards that this was a high priority for them. And so the system directors talked together and we came up with a plan. Black Gold will be hosting this database. It's here in a pilot form right now. It's open source software called Joomla, and Black Gold has developed it, and we're the system that will be going ahead and updating it with all the policies that I will be talking to you about in a moment to send in to us. And let's see. I guess I'd like to show you a few things that are on the database already. We have a small pilot, and this is the opening page. You see here, you can register as a user just by going to the site, clsainfo.org, put in some basic information, and you can have a login and password immediately. We would encourage you to write this information down and to sign up yourself for it, and as well as any staff members that either work with policies in your libraries or would just find this as a useful reference, because again, this is going to be as useful as the combined efforts of everyone that can enter data. The nice thing about this is it's searchable. So I'll go ahead and log in. And now I'll have access to the full database. I can come here to a corner and I can type a couple of different ways. You can search the entire database, or you can browse documents on a particular topic. So first I'm going to type in Downey. If there's a library that you're interested in the types of policies that they have at that library, you can type the description in. And you can see we have 4 results here on the bottom left. And there's a list of the policies that are available from Downey. We've got their limited borrowing card, fines and fees schedule, a collection agency policy, and a policy regarding materials theft. Is the director from Downey here by any chance? No, I'm sorry. Well, they've done a great job of getting information in the database, and I'd like to thank that director. The easiest way is to then, you can just go into the, I guess if I put my glasses on, I could see better. Oh, yeah. We go into here, and then here's their policy. You just click it to download, and the policy is right available for you. You can then upload these to you save a copy, print them out, anything that you'd like. And so we're hoping, again, that this is going to be a really helpful resource. If there's a topic, whoops, sorry about that. If there's a topic you'd just like to see information on, we have, excuse me, at the top, the document repository is the tab that will be able to give you that information. And right now we have some information under circulation services. So if I click that, we have fines and fees here. And now you can browse a list of any libraries that have submitted fines and fees information. And we've got several pages at this point. Again, thank you for libraries that have submitted these policies. And the same thing is, you can just click any of these, download the document, and then use it accordingly. Well, let's see if you've got Word on here. That's a note. We'll take documents in any format, in Microsoft format, PDF, Word, Excel. So you really don't have to do too much to anything that you've already got existing in the library. There will be some future information. You can do some quick polls and surveys on here. If you want to just send out, does anybody have, well, I can't think of a survey information right now. Oh, actually, you know what? Now that I think of it. There you go. I think we did a couple of surveys just as testing. Yeah, there are 2 of them here. And let's see. Adult coloring program. Who's doing an adult coloring program? And here's a friends group bookstore one that we just put together. So anybody will be able to get answer these polls. You can get an email letting you know that this poll is available, and then you can answer that, and then you'll have some nice quick information about it. Now, the way that you can contribute towards this database is send us policies. You can either, a number of different ways to do it. You can send them to your system chair, the liaison, and they'll get them to the database. You can upload them. There's a flyer that has the link to it's a Google Docs account. You can send them an email to the Black Gold Cooperative. You can send paper copies to me if you'd like, and we'll even scan them and get them in the system. We're really interested in helping as many libraries as we can with this information. And we also want to be very responsive. If there are topics that you think would be of interest, please let us know. Our current way of getting information in there is we intend to solicit libraries for a few topics every month. If you've got somebody who's really eager and wants to submit all of your policies on anything and everything, that'd be great. Please just send it in and we'll get them in there. We'll have get them categorized in the proper place, and we'll start to populate this database. The only restriction is we would like you to have policies that are 2010 or newer in order to make this as effective as possible. One question I've had a couple times is, do we need to develop policies if we don't have them? As much as I would like to say, yes, everybody develop 200 policies, that's probably not going to happen. So, no, you do not need to develop new policies if you don't have them. Just send us what you've got. We want to be very responsive. We want this to be a very useful database, and so we encourage your participation. We have bookmarks. Please take as many as you like. We've got lots of them. You can take them back to your staff that would potentially use the database or send policies. So thank you very much, and we hope that this will be a great resource for libraries. Yes. Oh, yes, an update on Black Gold, by the way, it's separately. We have 2 really interesting projects that have been keeping us busy. The first one is we are doing mobile hotspots for the first time, and we're going to go live with those next week. It's been a fun process, kind of getting them in-house, getting them sorted, sending them to the libraries. So for our 32 branches throughout the system, we're going to have 120 hotspots being distributed next week. So we're very excited about that. We've been told that these are really, really popular projects, and so we're interested to see what happens and see, hopefully, that the hold lists don't get too terribly long too quickly. The second thing we've done lately, and I don't know how many other libraries have subscribed to this, do a lot of libraries have Hoopla now? We have Hoopla, and that's just been exceeding our expectations as far as checkouts. It's going crazy, and so that's keeping us busy. We're also connecting a number of our libraries to Scenic this year, and we're working on connecting a number of them in the next year in 17 and 18. So That's pretty much what's going on in Black Gold. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Kelly Landano from San Joaquin Valley System.
I'm from the San Joaquin Valley System, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit. I am the Associate Director for Fresno County Public Library System, and about a year and a half ago, the Coordinating Director for our system, SJVLS, came under my direct management. So I hadn't been really that involved prior to that, so I had a lot of learning to do. So I wanted to thank my colleagues and Jerry, because I called them a lot, asking questions from everybody just to get up to speed. And then within a few months, the associate or the administrating librarian retired. So then everything, all the day-to-day stuff also fell on my lap. So I had a real huge learning curve at that point. So it's been really fun, and I've had a lot of personal growth through this experience. So it's been really good, and I love my team. I have 3 network system engineers and 3 librarians that are the staff for our system. I have 10 library members in our system. And that is, let's see, I wrote it down, about 106 libraries throughout our system. And so I just wanted to briefly go over, they gave me 10 minutes. I don't think I have 10 minutes of information, but obviously if you have questions during the question time, I'll be happy to answer them. Our NSC side, our network engineer side, handle all of course, all of the network management. They do the hardware purchasing, all of those kinds of things for our consortium. They're very busy right now with all of the grants, thanks to the State Library. We've received the CVIN grant, so we just received all of our equipment in for our headquarter libraries, so they're busy planning out. Oh yeah, one of my directors is clapping there. I hadn't announced that quite yet. So we are in the middle of planning the implementation, where we wanted to make sure that we did this in a very systematic way that made sense for our system. So we're developing that and getting this rolled out this fall for our, hoping to finish up in January with our headquarter libraries. And then we also received the branch connection grant for several of our libraries, so we'll be adding those on in the spring. So they're very busy planning all that project out and getting us connected. So we're very excited about that. And then we also have the E-rate Cat 2 branches for all of our remaining branches. So we plan by the end of this fiscal year to have everybody upgraded and connected. So we're really excited. Our directors all voted to move forward in this way to get pretty much, I would say 99% of our branches will be connected. I do have one system that will probably apply for the next go-round that they weren't able to due to difficulties with the provider in that area. So we're going to work that out and get them connected too. On the librarian side of the house, they are our software, they do our ILS, and various special projects. So we are working hard to assist all of our systems with increasing their ebook collections. We have more than quadrupled the budget this year for that. And they are working on an enterprise public interface for ebook and e-audio integration, and that's supposed to be going live this month, actually in just a couple weeks. They've been reviewing Blue Cloud and the analytics in particular, and so we're going to be working on that, and we're anticipating a full rollout to all of our system, the use of Blue Cloud analytics in February. And then we're going to be starting to test the cataloging and acquisitions part of Blue Cloud, and that'll happen later in the spring. And we're not sure of an implementation date, depends on our workflow with everything else that's going on. So we'll keep you posted on that. And then, of course, we're involved in a digitization project. Some of the state monies, as part of our system plan, we are moving forward with purchasing a large project. Okay, I'm going blank. A scanner, large project scanner, thank you. And so that we can digitize all of our newspapers locally and all of the big, large projects. We're buying one of the, I think it's like 18,000 or something like that. This huge one that'll be housed in Fresno for all of our members to come use for the larger projects. And then we're going to be purchasing scanners for each jurisdiction, each member, for their small projects. And then my staff will be providing training in how to use those scanners and then how to upload that into Omeka. So that's what we use in our system. So we'll be doing that. We anticipate this starting later this month as we purchase the equipment, and then moving on through the spring, and then hopefully ongoing. And we'll have a lot of really good information out there, focusing mainly on the information first that's important for our school children. We're also involved in just a general database vendor selection. We're just put out an RFP for various vendors because we're looking at changing how we're doing that. And so the librarians are very busy trying to move us in a positive direction that way. Overall, we're looking, the directors are going to be, they're considering and we'll be voting on in our November meeting a change in our organizational structure for our system office. We've had a librarian serve in the capacity for the coordinator, and we're looking at changing that and bringing in an IT manager because we have discovered that we really need somebody strong in that area. I will remain with oversight, handling all of the all the librarian side of things with the ILS change, because we're hoping to migrate soon, but we don't have a date for that either. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but we're looking at kind of testing that, bringing that back into in-house in Fresno Library, as they're the coordinating director for the whole system. And I don't know how that'll work, but we hope it'll be a positive move. So we're busy planning all of that. Along with that, we're looking at a long-range 5-year plan for the system staff, as well as a strategic plan that the member directors are all working on together. And that will hinge as well. We're starting that work, but then we, of course, want to bring on the IT manager so they can be really involved in that process as well. So that's what's happening at SJVLS. I forgot I'm supposed to introduce the next speaker. The next speaker is Jacquie Brinkley, and she's the system coordinator for NorthNet system.
Good morning, and thank you, and welcome to the home of NorthNet Library System. We start from here and go north to the border, and then out to the coast. So you're in good company, and we're really glad you're here today. And I'm seeing really familiar faces from some years back, so it's really nice to look out and see you. I'm Jacquie Brinkley, and I've been the NorthNet system coordinator for just over a year. It's a real pleasure to be working with NorthNet. Formerly, it was Mel Lightbody was our chair, and now it's Brett Lear from Sonoma County, who's doing a fabulous job of leading us with the executive committee. So again, it's a great honor to be working in this capacity. It's a new role for me, but I'm learning lots about libraries and the needs and connecting with systems statewide. And with my former colleagues at the State Library, it's quite a package. I'm feeling really blessed. So to tell you a little about NorthNet, hey, it's good to see you too. I'm sorry, distracted. Yes. So what's going on in NorthNet? So CLSA funds are primarily used for delivery of services, although this year with the additional funding that came through CLSA approval, we are looking at a variety of projects, some that are putting more money into great investments we've made in the past, and we want to build on those, and some we're exploring some new things. So we're interested in determining how members can leverage their resources and serve customers more efficiently with system-wide or regional groups via Link Plus service offered by Innovative Interfaces. A new Link Plus collaborative between libraries in the North Bay region was developed last year, and it's had great reviews to date. So NorthNet has set aside a portion of their CLSA funds to conduct a feasibility study to determine if an expansion to Link Plus libraries in other parts of the NorthNet system beyond North Bay is cost effective and that could be integrated with a more consolidated delivery system for all of NorthNet. So that's an exciting piece. We've got really very, very, very geographic regions that are very interested in this, so it's going to be exciting to see if that's feasible or not. But we've got a plan B if that doesn't work. But in terms of what we're going to continue to do with our CLSA funds, will be expand on or continue the Inky subscriptions that you've heard about earlier, very popular with NorthNet members. We want to increase overdrive, content, and numbers of libraries that are part of the Library to Go consortium in NorthNet. So we'll be looking at ways to bring in new libraries for overdrive. Also to bring additional libraries into the NorthNet Zinio Consortium, which Lisa Dale, Lisa, are you in the room? There you are. Thank you to Lisa for putting together 21 libraries from NorthNet in that original collaborative effort. And it was a matter of calling people on the phone. Are you ready to commit? Can you put it down now? And we were holding them to it, and we got 21 together. And it's been really popular, and many libraries are interested in going into it again or joining for the first time that couldn't in the first round. So we're going to try to help determine some criteria and how to get more Zinio libraries on board. Also to participate in the shared knowledge platform that Maureen spoke about. So thank you, Maureen and her staff for hosting that. We're really excited to bring those resources to all the systems. And we want to continue our participation in the wildly popular ZipBooks program. 19 of the current 30 libraries that are in the LSTA project are from the NorthNet system. It was originally targeted rural, most geographically isolated, so hey, we've got some of those in NorthNet, and they're really, really responding well. So we're excited to continue that program and look at how CLSA funds might expand as well to those who are rural and maybe other targeted libraries for ZipBooks. In line with a strategic initiative program that NorthNet took on last fall and identified some directions that they wanted to go. One of them was to create a member asset map to really investigate what's in NorthNet, who's got resources, and through the series of focus groups we did, people were just putting their, well, we can do this, we can help with that, we've got training, we've got resources. So we want to create what the map is and put that together, similar to kind of that knowledge sharing platform, but within NorthNet, and then take it out and maybe piggyback on with the Joomla project and tell what we have to offer in NorthNet and beyond. So a member asset map. Also, as kind of in line with the strategic initiatives that was identified was library directors wanted facilitation skills and community engagement. And this all came along kind of at the same time with the Harwood that was sponsored by the state library. So we pitched an idea in the LSTA competitive process, NorthNet, with Pacific Library Partnership as a partner to bring community engagement and facilitation skills to their library staff as a project learning training experience. So we have a consultant, Common Knowledge. Some of you may know Susan Clark, the mother of the Easy Voter Guide, that we're very popular. Susan is very, very skilled and has great experience in community engagement and is involved nationally in very different, a lot of different capacities, but she's right here in the Bay Area, so we contracted with her, and we have since done 2 different training sessions. Thank you to Shasta Public Libraries, Aaron, and thank you to Solano County Library, Bonnie Katz, for hosting our 2 different training sessions where 14 different libraries participated, their staff and some directors were involved, but it was really about, it's the similar idea, it's kind of a cousin to the Harwood, about turning out to the community, really about engaging the community. And in a day and a half, we got some really great facilitation skills. We had a community dinner, which is kind of a unique piece, where community members from the host library come in, and they've identified a project. The host library each identified a project, invited the community partners and or members or users to this community dinner where we actually got to sit at the table in rounds and put our new facilitation skills and or enhanced facilitation skills to practice with these community members. And it was all about building on this project that was identified. So what we came out of that night, of a few hours of working with the partners in the room and the users, was actually really great tools and outcomes that we could hand over to the host project or the host library for their project. So they really had something to go away with after that evening. through this day and a half of training, there's some very, very ambitious and really exciting projects that were identified. Some were internal communities like staff members or library groups and or volunteers within the library, but others looked outside their community and really targeted some issues that they have and they really wanted to identify and work on. And they came out with a list of partners, who they were going to be, next steps, where they were going. And then we'll have these follow-up meetings coordinated through the Susan Clark and Common Knowledge as coaching sessions, similar to the Harwood. And then what we are also creating a community of practice among our cohort. But what we'd really like to do beyond that is create and chat with the Harwood folks and compare what were their strategies, what were the best practices that came out of that. So we're really excited that they're kind of following the same path, and we'll be meeting up somewhere in the future and hope to do that through a webinar and or phone calls, and just compare and really build on what the state library's invested in through both LSTA and well, Harwood's LSTA as well. Oh. Did you hear anything I've said? Shall I start again? Welcome to NorthNet. Thanks, Becky. So that was a big part of the training, what they're going to come out with, and then how we're going to follow up. And again, my thanks to the host of Shasta and Solano County. And one of their other LSTA projects that Pacific Library Partnership and NorthNet partnered on, which is really kind of unique in the LSTA cycle of competitive, is this partnering. And I would suggest others might consider doing that, because it really does build on the strengths of both of your areas. But it's the Student Success Initiative, and I'm just going to say that we're really happy. NorthNet libraries that are involved are very happy to be part of it, but Carol Frost will speak more to that in her presentation on Pacific Library Partnership. So I just want to thank you again. Have a great conference. I really look forward to working with NorthNet and the systems in the future, and with the State Library, of course. So thank you very much. And I would like to introduce Carol Frost, Executive Director of Pacific Library Partnership at this time.
I'll bet you guys are on information overload right now. That's a lot, a lot of information. So Pacific Library Partnership, as Jackie mentioned with NorthNet, when we receive our CLSA funds, most of that money does go to support delivery. And so we were really grateful, as were all the systems this year, to get additional funds. And so our executive committee, in reviewing priorities of our system, really wanted to think about how we could leverage that money in support of some of the initiatives that came out of the CLSB. And so the system decided to support Anki, again, for all of our members, which goes along with what the CLSB decided to support. And in addition, we allocated $100,000 to support the development of Simply E. So for those of you who don't know what Simply E is, I'm a big advocate of this. It's an initiative by Library Simplified that came out of New York Public Library, and it's basically an agnostic ebook app. So you no longer would need to have an Overdrive app and an Access 360 app. You can or an Anki app. You just have one app for all of your ebooks. And I think that this is something that our profession has needed for a long time. And I'm grateful that the State Library is allocating money towards this, and we want to continue that support. And in addition, our board allocated money back to our libraries to support network and broadband. I think it's really significant in the last few months that the State Library has allowed CLSB funds to be used in a lot of different ways to support networking, including supporting hardware costs, such as for routers and switches. And so what we know in PLP is that many of our libraries are connected to Scenic, but some of them are only connected at the main library level, and they're not connected at the branch level. And we know that there are a lot of efforts to extend that, But this is where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck, I think, for all of our libraries. And so we're giving back money to our systems so that they can either allocate that towards their broadband costs, or they can use it directly to support the purchase of that hardware. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Student Success Initiative that Jacquie referred to. This was an LSTA fund grant that we are doing with NorthNet. And the idea of this is that we know a lot of libraries throughout the state of California are partnering with schools to get library cards for students. And we're all doing it in different ways. And so this is a way for us to put some intention around that and come up with some best practices. And so we put out a call. I was pretty amazed that when we put out a call to ask libraries within PLP and NorthNet to participate, we're not giving libraries money. We're giving them a community of practice to learn and some other support. And 11 libraries stood up and said, I'm willing to do this. That exceeded what we thought that we would get. So we've got 11 libraries who are going to be embarking on this journey. And so we know, and we've talked to a lot of you already who are doing this, and we'd like to invite you to come on Saturday at 8 a.m. in the Convention Center, room 201. And we're going to hold a little round table and hear about what thoughts you have, or share your best practices. Part of this grant is also us working with the state library to start a conversation with the Department of Education at the state level to try to garner that support. And we feel like that's a key part of this as well. Jacquie talked so eloquently about libraries leading the way, the partnership that we have in that LSTA grant. I'll let that be. I also just wanted to talk about some of the other projects that the Pacific Library Partnership is doing. So each year, we give out $150,000 worth of grants to our member libraries to support innovative ideas. And so in the past, how many of you have heard of Discover and Go? The Museum Pass? That's something that was funded through our innovation grants. So we get some really fantastic ideas. And this last year, we just finished up 2 weeks ago by Alameda County. They wanted to host what they considered a hackathon for libraries. So the idea is that library staff, we all have great ideas, and rarely do we have the time to come together and spend a whole day and think about our ideas and be surrounded by mentors to help us to do rapid prototyping and development of our ideas. So we just finished that, and we felt like it was so successful. We're hoping that through the debriefing that we could possibly extend this again next year. So we hope to be releasing the names of the 10 to 15 libraries that will be receiving the next round of grants really soon. The other thing that we are doing system-wide that I think is pretty phenomenal is that we offer 2 professional development tracks for PLP members. One is for executive management, and one is for middle management. So the idea is that it is a 1-year commitment, 12 meetings, and it's very intensive. I know that there's several people in this room who have participated in this. I have participated in it as well. And it's focused on improving problem-solving skills, understanding the big picture of the environment in which public libraries operate, and strengthening professional networks. The other thing that PLP is working on right now, through our strategic initiative, we realized that many of our libraries are very interested in trying to create some kind of a model for resource sharing around the acquisition and cataloging of language materials. This is something that a lot of our libraries individually have resources, but if there's some way for us to pool them together and share those specialties, we feel like it will make us a stronger, more efficient system. So we aren't very far into this process, but it's something that we're looking at right now. And I led a team at that hackathon to try to figure out some clever ways to handle that. So if anybody wants to talk to me after the meeting, that would be great. The last thing I want to talk about is just the collaboration that the system coordinators have with the state library. In the last year, we've worked together to present ideas to the CLSB, and lately we've been working together with the Ledge Committee to work on some proposed changes to the language in the regulations so that our services can be expanded to reflect what's happening now and what we think is going to happen in the future. It's very hard to change regulatory language, but we're really grateful that the CLSB and the State Library is doing this. And I'm sure that Diane Satchwell is going to talk some more about that. So with that, I'd like to introduce Diane Satchwell, who represents 5 systems.
I talk fast. So let's see. I wanted to just really emphasize how well the system coordinators are coming together. We are working really hard, and a big thank you to the CLA Ledge Committee for supporting the language that we submitted and that the CLSB board supported as well. It's really going to make differences, and some of the systems I work with, we're actually forming task committees. So those systems are $49.99. We are now working on doing Link Plus. We're really, really close. Marjorie from Innovative is now stepping in, and so we're going to be charging ahead at an alarming rate. They're a great group. So those are, I have like 6 bosses there. Then we have 2 new systems. SCLC has been great to welcome our new partners, and they are partners. They're very, very distinct systems. They stand alone, and I really want to emphasize that. So we do treat them as individuals, but they are a lot of fun to work with. One of our newer partners is Santiago. They use their CLSA money for ebooks and that, but as a system, what they do for non-CLSA, which I think is important as well, is they offer hosting of trainings. And when one of the libraries is doing something, they all work together to work towards that goal. They have staff recognitions. So they're constantly trying to do things as a group that is beyond the CLSA funding. Inland is another new partner. They have 1 staff, Linda, who's been there for a number of years. They have taken the new language that has just been approved by the CLSB, and we're going to be doing a digitization lab that we'll be sharing, and that'll be exciting to try and do. Then we also have, so then there's Sarah from San Diego and Imperial County, and we do delivery. They do Zinio and Overdrive, but we are going to be forming a task force looking at the new language and seeing how we can do a variety of other things. Then SCLC. So I have like 80 bosses, I guess, altogether. I don't know. I've lost count. And also Sarah does the Creando grant, which is a wonderful grant working with librarians in Tijuana. And I'm here to tell you the bang for the buck on that grant is phenomenal. Their staff, the hours they give is well over $170,000, and it's like a $13,000 grant. So then SCLC, there are 3 of us currently on staff. We manage statewide grants and really enjoy working with our partners in the statewide grants. I wrote them down because I don't always remember. Oh, broadband is one of the big ones. We're in year 3, and I look forward to working with the new libraries and continuing. We closed year 1, yay. Moving forward on that. We also do PELSAP. The Think a Bit, I want to thank Betty Wasness and Chula Vista as my partner. It's evolved into Innovation Station, and it has been phenomenal to work with her. Liamos, the Spanish reading and writing. If you have an opportunity to go to that session and meet Kathy, she's amazing what she does with so little money. I've partnered with Harwood South and now the Harwood that's online that Natalie talked about. And our TNT grant, which I'll be working with the system coordinators to get 3D printers for everyone to share. And then SCLC, we do the delivery and some other things, but now we're also going to be trying to do a digitization lab with the CLSB approved that funding. We have a task force, and we'll be looking at how we can really stretch. SCLC hosted and developed the program that four other systems used to create their priorities. And the other thing that's non-CLSA that SCLC believes very strongly in is the legislative piece. We go to Washington, D.C. every year, and they support that. We go to the League of Cities, and this year we actually had people come back to our booth and thank us for what we do and share with us. And we also work with the County of Los Angeles Public Library, and we had 32 pages, Excel pages of meetings that we did for Day in the District. So there's a lot of things going on at SCLC. And it's been great working with all of the system coordinators, and that's all I have to say. Wendy.
Thank you. Good job.